This is a C2 level discussion because it's looking at some of the very nuanced ways of using the English language. Weston, Divine and Ransom are three characters that couldn't be more different. And I think what Weston and Divine encapsulate or display is a worldview that doesn't have any anchor to its love of a fellow human being. C.S. Lewis's book, The Silent Planet, or Out of the Silent Planet, and we're talking about grammar and theology. This lesson explores the opening of C.S. Lewis's science fiction classic, and we'll look at Lewis's use of characterization, giving an atmosphere that implies danger or worry or fear, to recount the story of Ransom. Ransom is the main character, the protagonist, and the vocabulary that we'll be looking at specifically now is the word philologist. It's an expert in the history and the structure of languages. And it's kind of interesting thinking that I'm making a video about the use of language in this theological story. And the main character is a philologist. If he was a real person, I wonder what he would think of this, and I hope he would be interested. There's the intelligentsia, which is a word used mostly related to the intellectual elite. Lewis has a lot to say about this group of people, the theorizing of everything. Lewis speaks about the malediction or the curses, the acts of speaking evil, and the power that happens in that. Also, if you're watching this video, please know that this book is readily available and read it before watching this video. There's opportune times where history changes. I think this is a theme that occurs a lot in The Silent Planet and the other two books in the Space Trilogy, as they're colloquially known. Let's compare Elwyn Ransom and Divine. Some of the features. We know that Ransom is a philologist. Lewis critiques the academic world. The only reason that they see there's usefulness for a relationship with Weston and Divine is seemingly to get something out of someone, a material or some kind of satisfaction. And you see Ransom being a starkly different character, and I love that character that C.S. Lewis has created. Let's read some of the book. Hardly had the heavy craft of the beaters begun their slow progress up current when he found his own ship speeding northward. So by placing the hardly at the start, the speaker emphasizes the immediate nature between the two events. To grab the listener's or reader's attention, another effect is seen here. Never have I seen such beauty. The fronting of never, it heightens the sensory response to the rarity of the experience. Never. And then you think, what is going to happen there? What are you going to see? Never have I seen such beauty. Moving on, the cleft in the sentence. Let's give you an example. It was these duties that made him at first the unwilling and then the alarmed hearer of a conversation. You don't hear this so much in spoken English. It's kind of interesting to think about that so much of language is only predominantly used in one format, in writing. And we're moving on. I hope I'm not going too fast. Please leave a question there. I'll hopefully be able to answer it, and if not, maybe someone else can. One of the aspects that I mentioned earlier that I wanted to jump into is the critique on the academia, the focus on the intellectual development. And Lewis contrasts both characters, I think, very well. Or here I've made a mistake because I've associated Divine and Weston as one character. And I think they do represent kind of a one empty void of humanity, and Ransom another very heartfelt and both learned but very conscious of his role in helping others. Lewis contrasts both these groups of people that are in the academic realm and maybe gives people a choice as well how to associate themselves. And I hope that you don't meet too many people that want to be like Weston or Divine. Maybe they are exaggerated characters or have exaggerated aspects in their personalities. And I think Lewis may be drawing from his own experience, noticing this in other people, or noticing the states of his mind in pre-walk in faith, pre-conversion, pre-Christian faith. Anyway, that's me guessing there. Another interesting aspect of making this video, something that's happened to me, is that as I've assessed some of the language use, I've realized or imagined what Lewis was thinking when he associates a certain group of intellectual ideas based in the characters of Divine and Weston, and how that is contrasted with Ransom, who, although being a very learned intellectual man, is very much a man led by his convictions and his heart. And it makes me ask the question, or you could say it begs the question, what are the right kind of convictions to have? Because Weston and Divine do have convictions and they're very good at arguing them. The Silent Planet is, for me, one of Lewis's best. It's one of the ones that I like to dwell upon, and in the next one I think it even gets better. Let me know what you thought about this in the comments. See you in the next video.